What's going on, y'all? Riley here, and we're going to be looking at a new manga haul, so stay tuned. Before we get into the video, I wanted to give some thanks to Vont. They reached out to me recently and sent me some of these really awesome motion sensor lights. I decided I wanted to put them above my figures on these shelves because I think they add a really nice dramatic effect with the lighting. But these are great if you need something with a dark hallway or maybe some dark cabinets or pantry or something like that to get a little bit more illuminated somewhere where there's not a lot of light to begin with. Now, the only negative I would say about this product is that it doesn't have a setting to stay on or to stay off. It just has the motion sensor setting. However, they do have a lot of other really good products. My wife actually bought some night lights that once the lights are dimmed in the room, they can sense that and they automatically will turn on and stay on until it becomes light in the room, which is really great if you have young kids or any other circumstance where you need that kind of thing. Now, Vont is actually going to be giving away a set of these lights that I have right here. So if you're interested in winning those to use wherever you'd like in your house, just comment down below and let me know where you would want to stick those lights if you're to win them. So again, thank you so much to Vont. I really appreciate the lights. They look great up here, and let's get into the haul video. Alright, so I'm in a little bit of a different spot than I usually am whenever I do manga hauls. It's storming right now, so it's very dark in the manga library area, so I decided to jump back out here into the old library that I still have, what, a month or more later have not moved all this stuff out of. So eventually that'll happen, but for now this makes for a decent place for me to do this. So I have a lot of stuff that I picked up in the last month as far as new releases, and I have some older books as well that I got some really great deals on, and I'm happy to show those things to y'all, just so you can have a look at what I've been reading and what I am going to be reading in the near future. So let's look at the non-new items first. Recently I had done a video of recommendations for single manga stories, and I'm really happy with the feedback that I got on that and just a lot of people enjoying that video, because it seems like it did exactly what I wanted it to do, was give people those recommendations for something that's not so expensive as buying like a long-running series. But I'm glad that I asked for y'all's opinions on that, because there was a lot of feedback about a lot of different books from different creators that maybe I've only read a little bit of, or creators that I've never read any of. And one of the recommendations that I got, a lot of people actually mentioned, was for Natsume Ono, and I don't remember who specifically I thanked for this recommendation, but I found a copy of Not Simple, which was recommended to me, I think by more than one person, and this was super cheap on eBay. It is kind of a beat up copy, but I mean, I read my books, so I'm not worried about it staying in perfect condition or anything. So thank you for recommending the book. I'm looking forward to reading this, and I'm both excited but also apprehensive, because if I enjoy it, then that means that I'm probably going to go down a hole trying to pick up all of Ono's works. Moving over to the other lot of previously released, not new releases that I grabbed. I really enjoyed the first volume of Zom 100, and I made a video about that a week or two ago, just talking about that first volume and my feelings on it, and kind of telling people go ahead and pick it up if it sounds interesting to you, because I really liked it. I didn't realize that Haro Aso had another series that was already published in English until I looked online. I thought that this series was only available digitally, but it is actually available physically. And so I picked up all 7 volumes of Hide and Closer, or Closer. So this is one that is both written and drawn by Haro Aso, whereas Aso only does the writing for Zom 100. So this is going to be, as far as the appearance goes, it's going to be a little bit different looking. But I got all 7 volumes, again, off of eBay for pretty cheap. I think 4 out of the 7 were, at the time, I don't know about right now, available on Right Stuff to order. But there was a lot of all of them on eBay, and they came in really nice condition, except for there's like a cut on volume 4 on the spine, but it's only noticeable if I'm really paying attention, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm excited to have this and to be able to try this series out. I've read some pretty decent things, and again, just from how much I enjoyed that first volume of Zom 100, I'm really looking forward to seeing how I feel about this series as well whenever I do get around to picking it up. Now for some new releases. I'm going kind of just in the order of the size of each book is how I've arranged them on my desk today. So first at the top of the stack, and most of these things I haven't read yet. I'll point out the ones that I have read just the past few days as these have been coming in the mail. So we've got Ajin Volume 16. I believe there are 2 more volumes that'll be coming out after this. Volume 17 and then 18 I don't think has been released in Japan so far, but that should be the last volume of the series. So we'll probably see Volume 18 either at the end of this year or sometime in early 2022 is what my guess would be. And I've got the 12th volume of Saint Seiya Saintia Show, the only spin-off series for the Saint Seiya franchise that is available in print in English. And then this one is from One Piece Books. They actually reached out to me and asked if I would like a review copy of this book. I think it is an early copy, so this I don't know at this point if this is available for people to buy, but I said, yeah, sure, go ahead and send it to me. I'll go ahead and read the series and talk about it. So I'll have a video hopefully in the next week or so for I Hear the Sunspot. I know this is different than most of the stuff that I typically read, but I'm not against someone sending me a review copy and me trying out something new. I will probably wind up giving away this book on that video, so if you're interested in getting volume 3, that's the final volume, and I'll be reading the other 2 volumes digitally. But if you're interested in getting that 3rd volume of the series, wait for that video and we'll see if you can possibly win that. Then we've got volume 43, I believe 45 is the final volume for Haikyuu. Of course, this one is hugely popular anime, popular manga, and it will be wrapping up in English really soon, so I'm excited about that. And then we've got the 8th volume of The Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess. This has been a really good, all things considered, when compared to other Zelda adaptations, this has been a really good adaptation of a Zelda video game. I say this almost every time because I just kind of want to put it out there how much better this one is than like the majority of the other Zelda video game adaptations. This is still ongoing, or it's either still ongoing in Japan or it's just recently wrapped up. I don't really remember offhand. But 8 volumes, still ongoing, is so much more material than the usual 1 to 2 volumes worth of material that we get for a Zelda manga, which 1 or 2 volumes is like nothing when covering the entire storyline of a game. So it's nice because it gives a little bit more character depth to everyone that's in that book. Then we've got Dragon Ball Super Volume 12. I've mentioned through multiple videos that I'm actually really having a good time with this series. Dragon Ball Super, as far as the anime goes, is fine. It's fun, it does what it needs to do, but I feel like the manga kind of pushes it along a lot faster. And then now we're in a new story arc that is original to the manga rather than something that's based off of one of the movies or from the anime. And I'm having a really good time with it. I really do enjoy this series. It's nice to have a good return to the Dragon Ball franchise. So if you're a big Dragon Ball fan and you kind of want something to kind of fill the void in your life after both Super has ended and this Broly movie has already come out and there's just nothing else out there, definitely pick up Super. It's a fun new arc, has an interesting new villain with ties to some past material in the Dragon Ball franchise. Next up, we've got Dr. Stone Reboot Byakuya. This is focused on Senku's father. So this is a storyline that's supposed to have taken place, like a side story that takes place in the past, giving a little bit of additional information about the things that happened that lead to the beginning of the Dr. Stone series. Really enjoying Dr. Stone, so I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And then another super popular one right now, this is Spy Family Volume 4. This is one of the monthly magazines or monthly series, so it's not in Shonen Jump Weekly, but I'm having a really good time. This is a great, wholesome series that they've got coming out under the Shonen Jump banner. Now moving over to the larger trim books, I've already read the, what is this, 7th volume of Hell's Paradise. This is a great action series. If you like fast-paced, violent action, this is definitely something for you. It is definitely more mature as it does have a lot more, not just violence, but other mature material, if you get what I'm saying. So definitely beware if you're if you are of a younger audience. You don't want to get in trouble with your parents. I don't know how old the people are that watch my videos and stuff, but you don't want to get in trouble with mom and dad or your guardians or whatever. Or if you are a mom and dad and you share your books with the kids and stuff, just beware that this might have some material in it that you're not exactly fond of for your younger audience. Speaking of mature content, we also have Beastars Volume 11, and holy crap, this volume, like, takes it to 11. Honestly, this was such a fantastic volume. I remember saying that Volume 9 was really great. Volume 10 was good. This one goes back to that level of quality that was in Volume 9 and just pushes it even further. This had my heart pounding throughout that volume. Like, I felt a lot of different emotions throughout that volume, and I cannot wait to see where the series progresses from here, because it's kind of a big transitioning point for the series at this point. And then we have Beast Complex Volume 1. Originally, I thought this was a single volume series, but my friend Gio over at the channel A Week in Geekdom, who I join on Thursdays to do videos with over at the Omnibus Collectors Network, actually informed me that it's not just a single volume. There's at least a second volume that will come out, as Itagaki has been writing more content that relates to this stuff. Basically, it was a predecessor to Beastars, and it's supposed to take place, I think, in the same universe as Beastars, but not revolving around Cherryton Academy and those characters. So we have some like adult animals and some younger animals and stuff that are featured in here. It's 7 short stories, is I believe how many there are in here, each focusing on some unlikely pairs of animals that are kind of partnered together or having some sort of adventure doesn't seem like the right word, but some sort of story that involves both of them together, regardless of the fact that a wolf and a camel or whatever shouldn't go together or something like that. It was a really great volume, a lot of good short stories, some better than others, but overall really good stuff. And then we've got the second and final volume of Mermaid Saga. I don't think I showed this one in my previous just saying it, I feel like I might have shown this in my previous video. If I did, I'm sorry, but I did read this month. I read this recently, and I'm excited to have read this entire story. I did promise in an earlier video that I would do a review for the series once I finished reading it, so I will get that done at some point. I have a few videos that are lined up before I can do that, though. And we've got the third volume of My Sonikoku, so some more material from Umiko Takahashi. Always excited to have Takahashi books to read. This is another one that I've already read, and this is the first volume of Solo Leveling. I had heard about this one years ago. My brother-in-law had recommended it to me, and I never had checked it out because I really wasn't reading. I've never read anything on like the Webtoons app or anything like that. But when I saw that it was getting a physical release, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try it out so that I can see what he was talking about, and I've seen other people kind of hype it up and stuff. This was a really, really fun first volume. It's a manhwa adaptation of a Korean light novel series, I believe. And it's a just very straightforward action storyline, at least for the first volume. It kind of reminds me of Gantz, but not as mature. There's definitely a lot of blood and violence in it, but it's not to the same level of maturity as Gantz is. And it kind of has an isekai feel to it without actually being an isekai series, just because it has those like RPG elements and whatnot to the storyline, but it doesn't seem like they're put into the other world, like they're not put into the game world. It's just that's the world that they live in, has these elements to it. Really beautiful artwork with great coloring throughout. I know it's probably really small, you can't really see it, but I really like the presentation in this volume, and it is a nice thick book. It doesn't look so thick, but it's like about the same size as a standard volume, but it has over 300 pages worth of material, which is why it does have a higher price point of $20 rather than like $12 or whatever the usual one for that kind of book is. I think 14, I don't know. Really good. I recommend it if you like just straight action series like that, and the idea of it kind of sounding like an RPG is appealing to you, then definitely pick it up. Then from Kaidansha, we've got Wave Listen to Me Volume 5. This is the most recent ongoing series from Hiroaki Samura, who of course is responsible for the legendary Blade of the Immortal series. This one's a really fun series, but definitely a complete opposite direction of what Blade of the Immortal is, whereas that series is obviously more mature action. This one is kind of comedy, almost slice of life kind of thing, following a radio host as she's kind of making a name for herself in the business. Also from Kaidansha, I've already completed reading this one, is the 12th volume of Grand Blue Dreaming. This is a mature comedy series focusing on some younger college-age guys who are just constantly partying, and they all belong to like this diving club. It's a really fun, really funny series. Just keep in mind it is mature in content, so again, this is one that you don't want to either A, get in trouble with your parents if you're reading that, or B, you don't want that one to be around your younger audience that might be in the house with you. I don't know why I always feel like I have to talk about that, because I try to let people know like what manga might be friendly for kids and what manga might not. I don't know, I feel like I have to do that because there's people who have kids who've asked before, like, is this friendly for my kids to read? Is this friendly for my niece or nephew? Like if I want to give it as a gift. So that's why I do that. That's why I mention that in passing and stuff. Also from Kaidansha is the 5th hardcover edition of Saint Young Men. So this is the 5th 2-in-1 hardcover. This is a really fun slice of life series. This one is definitely better suited for younger audiences. It is rated teen, but there's not a lot of really mature content in there, so I would say this one's a nice one for most people to be able to read. But basically the idea is kind of Jesus and the Buddha are roommates in Japan, and these are their everyday adventures of just the things that they get up to. Really nice, lighthearted, wholesome series. Not quite as wholesome, we've got the 3rd volume of Soul Eater. This is the hardcover edition, so this collects about 1.5 volumes worth of this series. I've enjoyed, for the most part, the first 2 volumes. I feel like it hasn't gotten that deep into the real story. There's not a bunch of, you know, information about what the ongoing story and what the ongoing conflict is going to be just yet, but I like the artwork, I like the ideas, and I like the characters, and these hardcovers from Square Enix are really, really beautiful. And that brings me down to the biggest and the last volume that I have, and that is the 2nd deluxe edition of Blade of the Immortal. I mentioned it just a minute ago when talking about Hiroaki Samura. I love these hardcovers from Dark Horse. There's a reason why I made that video where I talked about what other series I would like to see presented in hardcover from Dark Horse. But this is just a fantastic series. I had a lot of fun reading that first volume, especially in these giant-sized pages that just make that artwork pop so beautifully. I'm definitely looking forward to jumping into this 2nd volume. I do have the 7th hardcover of Berserk on the way to me, so that would have been here, but it is delayed in transit, so it's not in this video. And then there are a few more books from this month of March 2021 that I will be picking up, but I probably won't receive them until next month, until April, so I figured that this was as good a time as any to do this video. So anyway, that's everything that I have for this haul, for my March new manga and old manga haul. So let me know, what did you guys pick up? What are you guys interested in this month? I'm really curious, you know, what everyone else is reading and what you like and all that good stuff. So yeah, that said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching.